My name is Dr. Andrew Hahn, and I am the founder of the Life Centered Therapy Training Institute. And as a way of beginning, I'd like to invite us just to breathe and to just pause and bring our attention from up and out to down and in, because I know a lot of you will be watching this having had very busy days. And as we do this and we breathe, I just want to invite us to open to life and all that is here for help and health, and the wisdom and the compassion and the presence that holds us with an open hand. So that we're here not just listening with our minds, but we're also going to listen with our hearts and with our bodies, so we're fully engaged. And I also invite you, as is the beginning of the series, to really be with what you would most want to remember, so that you were getting what you really, really desired from this time, because I'm deeply grateful that you would spend your time here. Now, I want to share with you why I'm making this series. I'm making this series because people are suffering, and I have a passion, and I have a dream. And in my dream, and why I do this, is that I know people are suffering. And the reason they're suffering is because they've been traumatized. And I believe that we could actually help people heal their trauma so they could be free to live truly a life of destiny, as opposed to a life which feels like they're living a fate, that they are victims of things. So I want to talk to you today about how it is that we can move from a life where we feel like we are just victims of a fate to living a life where we're truly living the life of our destiny and truly living our heart's desire. So having said this, I think there is one reason that people come for healing. And that one reason is that they're being invited to remember something they couldn't handle and integrate, so that they could then master it and become free. That's all I think it is. And I don't think it matters whether the thing you're suffering is about something that's physical, like chronic pain that no one understands why it's there, or autoimmune disease, or something mental like anxiety, or something emotional like depression, or the same bad relationship you get into over and over and over again, and you see patterns but you can't break out of them, or just something spiritual like alienation. I think it's all the same thing, which is that there was something you couldn't handle and integrate. And your suffering, while on a human level, is something that is really awful. On a soul level, it's inviting you to find the thing that you couldn't integrate and master it, so that you could be free. That's why I think people come to healing. It's to master things. That's it. And that's what I think therapy is. Now I want to tell you how I believe people can master things. When there's something that you can't handle, in that moment, a discomfort is born, a dense energy. It could be like throat closing up, or a feeling of nausea, or a tight chest, but there will be some kind of discomfort that is born the moment there's something that you can't handle. It's like we're going from being free-flowing energy like a verb to being dense energy like a noun. And the dense energy is something we can experience like some kind of pain or discomfort. So I would say, when that pain is born, it's born in a moment. And if we could go back to that moment and do something different with it, we would be free. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's suppose I have a man in my office and a car backfires and he has a panic attack. And he thinks that he is having a panic attack right now, perhaps because the car is backfiring, even though it makes no sense. And let's suppose that 40 years earlier, he was the leader of a troop in a war. And he, in that moment, thought that he should be able to have realized that there was a possible ambush, but he was a little bit distracted and he didn't realize it. And he walked his men into this place where they were ambushed and bombs went off. And he's watching his men die and he's thinking, I betrayed them. So really his problem is, not only did the bomb go off, but his problem is that he betrayed his men. And from then on, not only will he be reactive to like loud noises, but he also might be reactive to things like having to be over responsible, or not wanting to take risks, or a whole variety of things that he might have no idea had anything to do with his panic attacks when there were loud noises. But we would know that it's all about one thing, which is that he feels like he betrayed a trust and he couldn't master it. So, if he's having his panic attack and I say, okay, when you're having your panic attack, what's happening in the body? And he says, all right, I'm having this panic attack, and what I'm noticing is my throat's closing up. So then what I'm going to say to him is something funny. It's not you that's having a panic attack. It's throat closing up that's having a panic attack. That's its name. Your name is Sammy, and its name is throat closing up. And throat closing up was born in a moment, and it's come to share a story. And we're going to become throat closing up, and we're going to become aware of what its story is, because as soon as you bring all your attention there and focus all your attention there, something's going to start to happen. Either you're going to start reliving a memory, or images are going to come to you like a movie, or just knowings like you're reading a book, or feelings will arise. And whatever's arising is going to be throat closings up story. Except at this point, there's one big difference, which is instead of reliving the story by fate over and over and over again, what you'll be doing this time is choosing to discover and remember the story. And then you're the one who's doing the remembering, not the one who's being remembered. And at that point, when you can do that and fully understand throat closing up story, and if it needs something like to make amends, it makes amends with all those men, the next time the car backfires, instead of jumping and having a panic attack, you might say, oh, this is reminding me of something that happened. But I'm no longer confused. I'm no longer in terror. I'm no longer enraged at myself. I'm no longer feeling despair, because I can now grieve it. And when I can grieve it, I can let it go. Then I can master it, and I can go on to whatever the next lesson is that I'm here to master, until I've mastered them all.